So I've been wanting to make a video about my birth story. Putting this video off for a really long time because I have so many feelings about it, so many emotions. It is kind of hard for me to talk about for some reason, but I really want to document this and make sure that I never forget what I went through to get my little girl. And I want to share and I want to be transparent. I don't want to scare anybody or I don't know. I don't want anybody to think that I feel less of you if you didn't have like the same preferences as I did for my birth. And yeah, I really would do it all over again, the same exact way. I have my laptop here because I wrote a bunch of notes, so I'll probably be like glancing at that a couple times. So I definitely want to start by saying that I have done research upon research about birth and labor and delivery and all of that stuff for years and years. So if you would have asked me, I would have said I felt prepared. I wasn't scared. I never really felt afraid of it. I thought our bodies are meant to do this, so it's going to do it. Like, there's nothing that you can do to stop it. And I dreamed of like a very natural birth, no epidural, very little intervention. I wanted my husband there. I wanted my parents there, which I had. I was due January 2nd, 2020, and I had Aspyn 11 days early. My mom went 14 days over with me and she was induced, so I really wasn't expecting, especially for her being my first time baby, to be early. I wasn't expecting that at all. But December 21st, I felt really tired, like exhausted, like the whole entire day. And I think I napped most of the day. And around 8 o'clock or so, I got like this burst of energy and I just got up, I jumped up, I started cleaning, and I finished packing my hospital bag. I did like a workout. What? I did a workout video. I just had so much energy and I literally went to bed feeling like prepared to go into labor at any moment, which is really weird. And I went to sleep with Braxton Hicks contractions, and I grabbed Kyle's hand and I put it on my belly and I was like, do you feel that? She's going crazy in there. And I was excited. A couple hours later, I think it was around 2, my timeline's a little bit off, but around 2 in the morning, my eyes opened. I don't know if you guys have ever had this, but sometimes right before my period's about to start, in my sleep, I will just like wake up and go to the bathroom, and then like my period starts when I sit on the toilet. I don't know if this has happened to anybody else or if that's just a weird thing, but like my body knows like this is about to happen. So that's very much what it reminded me of. I'm gonna put her down because she's getting antsy. Just like my body knew something was about to happen, and I woke up out of my sleep, I walked to the bathroom, I sat down, and just my water broke. Like, it wasn't like a huge burst, it was just like a trickle, but it wasn't really questionable. I knew that my water had broke. So I turned on the light, and that woke Kyle up because I never turn on the light for the bathroom. And he was like, is everything okay? Before I even could say anything. And I was like, yeah, my water just broke. And he was like kind of in denial. And I don't remember what I said, but anyway, I was sure that it was my water, but he was like, maybe something else. So I walked over, after, I cleaned myself up, I went back to the bed, and he was like, let's just lay down. Let's just lay down for a little bit longer and, just relax. So I lay down for maybe like 20 seconds. What's the matter? So I laid down for like 20 more seconds, and then I was like, no, I can't do this. So I got up and I was like, babe, it's go time. We gotta go. We live about an hour away from the hospital that I gave birth at. So I knew that I was having the baby within 24 hours, and to reduce my chance of C-section, which I wanted to avoid at all costs. And so we just got our stuff together. Kyle was frantically running around. We're both like shaking. We were so nervous. We were so nervous to meet you. And I took a shower. Let's put you down, honey. So by the time we got in the car, we were on our way. He asked me if I wanted to eat anything, and I was like, no. I'm like sick to my stomach, so nervous. I think it was about an hour after my water broke that I started having contractions. And I started timing them, and they were like, no big deal. Just, you know, normal start of contractions, kind of cramps. They were nothing intense though. So we checked into triage, and they needed to do like a swab to test the fluid to make sure that it was my water, which was so painful. And they told me that I was only at a 2 dilation, but that it was my water. And a couple hours later, I lost my mucus plug. So I walked around through my contractions. I drank water. My midwife came, she checked me. I was only at a 4. She stripped my membranes at that point, which is when everything started to get way more real. But, you know, during that time, I did my makeup. I kind of cracked jokes with Kyle as we walked through the hallways, and just tried to, you know, breathe through my contractions. And we waited for our room for hours and hours. So mind you, I think we checked in at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't think I got my room until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which felt like a really long time walking around the hallways and just in triage waiting. Once I got in the room, my midwife asked if I wanted to go in the tub, and I was like, yes, I do. So I got in the bathtub. Kyle had like a washcloth, and he was like, you know, going over me, and she started playing music. And so we were listening to Frank Sinatra music. I was in the tub. At this point, it was more of that like beautiful, natural experience that I was hoping for. But at a certain point, when your contractions start to get really intense, it's like nothing that anybody does is gonna help. I was one of those laborers that wanted nothing to touch me. I didn't want really anybody to talk to me. My midwife rubbed essential oils all over me. That helped. I went on the birth ball. That helped. I rocked with Kyle. My parents gave me a lot of encouraging words. But like I said, at a certain point, the contractions were just a little bit too intense for me. I'm pretty sure my midwife checked me, and she said that I was at like a 6, and I was so discouraged. I didn't even want to hear her say the words or that number at all, because it's just like, don't tell me if I'm not at like a 9 or 10, because then I just feel like I'm not making any progress, because a 6 just seemed like not close enough. So the contractions for me were the worst part. Oh yeah, I had to pick her up. But I don't remember. I think I was around 8 centimeters when I started to get really nauseous. I threw up a couple times. I was like, get the nurses in here. Like, I think she's coming. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I just felt like, just like, how could it get any worse than this? Not once did my midwife, my nurse, my husband, anybody there ask me if I wanted to get an epidural. Everybody really respected my decision that I had made, that I didn't want one, and everybody believed in me so much that I can do it that nobody offered it. Anyways, okay, so as she checked me and I was really, really close, she told me, look, Aspyn's head is stuck on your cervix, and with your next contraction, I would really like you to push. While her hand / arm is still up me, and it's like excruciating pain. And she's like, I'm gonna want you to push with your next contraction. And I was like, hell no, get out of me, like this hurts so bad, like leave me alone. And anyways, with the next contraction, I tried to push, but I think really mainly all I did was kick my midwife in the head and just tell her, I was like scratching and clawing at that point, like don't touch me, get off me. During this whole process, I couldn't have anything like touch me, so I literally took off my gown. I was butt naked. I was trying to breathe. I was trying to look on the bright side, but I just kept saying I can't do it over and over again. I wasn't very positive. I just felt like I can't do this. Like you need to be really strong to be able to do this, and I can't do it. And my mom kept telling me, Ashley, you're doing it. What do you mean you can't do it? You're doing it right now. And it really meant a lot to me. Like I had my mom encouraging me. I would get hot and then I would get cold and I wanted a blanket on me and then I wanted nothing on me at all. So that was kind of like my dad's job. Put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. Kyle was holding my hand. He was breathing through it. He was telling me, okay, we're at the peak. It's just gonna get easier now. He was talking me through them. She keeps looking at me with a big smile on her face. It's the best thing ever. Can mommy talk? Okay, thanks. So I pushed. I think I pushed for maybe 35 minutes or 40 minutes, which felt like a lot longer, to be honest. Anyways, I was like, she's coming, and then she did. She came, and right as her, this is too much information, sorry, but it's my story, so excuse me. I'm just gonna share it with you anyways. Once her head came out, my midwife was like, Ashley, your baby's right here. Catch her, take her, pull your baby. Like something along those lines where she was just like, this is your baby. Why is it so funny? And she told me, take your baby. So that's exactly what I did. I pushed her out and I pulled her up onto my chest and met her for the very first time. That was never said. I never told my midwife. Sorry. I never told my midwife that I wanted to do that. I didn't even know I did want to do that. But in the moment when it happened, it was like the most beautiful thing. And I was so proud of myself and so proud of Aspyn. And it was awesome, wasn't it? Yeah. And we did it, you know, together. But, you know, I breastfed her. I had skin on skin time. They didn't take her away from me for a very long time. I want to say like the first hour, maybe I had her on me the entire time before they even took her to weigh her or anything. And I love that nobody ripped her away from me. And I loved that I got to hold her as the placenta came out, and I did have a stitch. They stitched me up, and that is really painful too, by the way. Like a lot of women say after the baby comes out and you have them on your chest, the pain goes away. For me, it didn't go away. It was still there. And maybe that's because I didn't have an epidural. I don't know, but it definitely still hurt. I just want you guys to know that, because a lot of women have been reaching out to me and asking me questions about my birth. And when I say that I did it without an epidural, everybody wants to say that I'm so strong. And you know what? I am strong, and I did do it, and I am proud of myself. But I don't feel like it was a graceful job on my part. I was pretty mean to everybody in there, I'm pretty sure. It's been 6 months. The first probably 3 months, I was traumatized, really traumatized. And I was like, I'm never doing that ever again. That was absolutely horrible. I think all of the hormones and emotions and everything was just a lot for me to handle. My pregnancy was absolutely beautiful. I loved being pregnant so much. But my postpartum experience was pretty rough. I was very emotional and I was crying a lot. And I don't think I had postpartum depression. I was never diagnosed with it or anything like that. I didn't have any scary thoughts like that, but I definitely just felt sad, and I felt like happy and sad and a million emotions, and I wasn't expecting that to happen to me because I was trying for a baby and I wanted to be a mom so bad, and I didn't have any horrible thing happen to me during my labor and delivery. I literally went home the very next day. We went to the pediatrician the very next day, which was Christmas Eve, and we got to have her home on Christmas Day, and it was absolutely beautiful and amazing, and my family came and we celebrated her and we celebrated Christmas, and I just feel so blessed and happy. And being a mom is absolutely the hardest thing I've ever done, hands down, but it's amazing and it's beautiful, and it has brought Kyle and I closer than ever. It has changed me in so many ways for the better. It just makes me want to be the absolute best version of myself that I can possibly be. And yeah, that's my story. Thank you for watching and listening to me. I feel like every story is so different. Like I said, if they decide to breastfeed or formula feed or whatever you do, I'm so proud of you.
Aspyn's here, Ashley. Aspyn is here.
Yes, you did, baby.
You did it.
Oh, you have better ears.
Ashley. She's so beautiful. So good.